I'm Yuyun Ismawati, the co-founder and senior advisor of Nexus for Health, Environment and Development Foundation, Indonesia. Lead paint issue is an old issue in developed countries, the global north, but in the global south, many paints are still made with lead to make it bright and attractive. Our research in the last 10 years shows that many decorative paints, solvent-based paint sold and manufactured in Indonesia have very high lead concentration. Some of them are up to 250 ppm, while the safe level set by the WHO and other UN agencies are only 90 ppm. In this study, we look at 3 different factories. The first one is not using lead since the beginning of their operation in 2004. And then the second one is transitioning from lead-based paint to the non-lead paint in 2019. And the third one is the factory that still use lead, and this company is the oldest one. It's been established since 1970. We thought that it would be interesting to see and compare the 3 different nature of paint manufacturers. Our research found that 75% of the industry with lead as raw materials have high blood lead levels greater than 5 microgram per deciliter compared to industry, the first industry without lead and the second industry. And also we found that 55% of the industry with lead, the workers from industry with lead, had a blood level that showed an increased non-cancer risk and also cancer risk. So it means the longer they work in that factory, the risk for them to get some kind of illnesses or diseases that related to cancer and non-cancer are quite high. The industry can do many things. One of them is to stop using it, stop using lead paint as their materials. And then the second, they should provide facilities for their workers to wash and take a shower before they go home. And then the clothes that they use should not be taken home, so they have to change their clothes before they go home. And communicated risk, working with chemicals that have high risk for cancers and non-cancer. The company also should regularly clean the floor and then all the window sills and the building to wipe the dust, because from our findings, we found that the dust in paint factories with lead 5 times to 400 times higher than the one without lead. From our research, it shows that because the paint companies use more than 90% chemicals as their raw materials in their productions, it's very important to have the knowledge about the risk and the harmful effects of each materials, whether it's lead, heavy metals, or other solvent, VOC and pH. And it will be good to see chemical disclosure from paint manufacturers, so they could be responsible with their products, not only declaring or doing the carbon disclosure initiative, but also start thinking about doing the chemical disclosure. So for government, we recommended to prohibit the use of lead in all paint manufacturers in Indonesia, and also apply and mandated the standard of 90 ppm not voluntary, but mandatory for all paint, all kind of paint, including road paint, road markers, and also for ships and all kind of paints. Other controls also have to be in place and enforced in many factories, especially because they are dealing with more than 90% of their raw materials are chemicals. So eliminating the exposure starts from replacing the materials, and government have to enforce the regulation.